10 seconds. 5 seconds. It is Dire's ban. Radiant's turn to ban.
Thoughts from you regarding that draft?
I actually have no idea what they're going to ban because all I could focus on is that damn Bloodseeker Tiny combo.
Man,
Tiny's so dumb, man. Start banning this hero.
Tiny's
I hate
dumb.
this hero right now.
I don't. Did he get any nerfs in the patch? I think maybe he got like a move speed nerf or something like that.
Like maybe a 5 movement.
Yeah, it
over,
wasn't
like 2 patches.
It wasn't. It wasn't too much. I mean, I feel like OG definitely has some gas left in the tank. I feel like they're gonna look back and be like, all right, we had this Huskar that kind of got neutered in the safe lane, then we had a Drow mid. Like, who's gonna run around and do things? Darkseer's countered by Anti-Mage. Like, they need to pick to at least win one lane, and I think the game looks totally different.
All right,
just win 2 games.
Just win 2 games. That is what they say. That it goes for every team, of course, in any series that is a best of 3. We're gonna find out if it's gonna be Secret winning 2 games or if OG is gonna make their first step to winning 2 games. So let's head over to the draft Pantheon for game number 2.
Radiant's turn to pick.
The next label play. The next label play.
5 seconds. Dire must choose.
Wind Ranger at your service.
Between these 2 teams, you'd think that Io would be the hero of the series, and then somehow Bloodseeker enters the conversation. Brian, thank you so much, T-Gov, both of you, for joining me. Obviously, that was a very competitive series, right, Brian?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't know we were already back on. I was told I'd have enough time to finish my game. I was on my last turn. I'm sorry
OG
about
thought
that,
they'd
man.
have enough time to start their game, but that didn't happen either. As we jump into draft number 2. Now, as I was saying, T-Governor, I thought that Io would be the name of the game. Somehow that's gone out the window. Obviously, it's being banned pretty regularly against OG. Is that all they have up their sleeve? Because they just got dismantled in that game number 1.
When I was thinking about it, it's like, well, what have we seen from OG so far? And it's been a plethora of IO games, and other than that, a sprinkling of like the Tinies or these Invokers. And I realized it's actually not a bad thing for OG in terms of they've clearly just got a big playbook that they haven't even brought out to the table, right? Like, they've won a couple games of different stuff, but that first series was their attempt of showing something new, or at least trying to, get away from that IO, because of course it was banned out. But clearly, I feel there wasn't really that flair inside the draft. There wasn't that kind of like uniqueness that OG normally brings to the table. Especially we've seen the mid Tide Hunters, for example, support Svens. And in this game, we just see a casual Darkseer countered by AM, and then
there's a little bit of flavor with the Huskar, but I think that idea needs a little bit more time, as they do start out with an Oracle again, but I'm with you. It did not really have that OG oomph that we are so used to.
Yeah, I'm just a bit sad from that first game because I was, hyping up how good of a hero Drow is, and it just doesn't matter how good or bad a hero is. If you're down by 3k gold at 6 minutes, I was like, I'm wondering what Team Secret's, how they're going to orchestrate this mid-game pressure to shut down the Drow, and then they're just up. The game's already over by the time I even get to ask that question. So this game, moving forward with OG, you got to get past the first 5 minutes.
First phase it now.
And now both these heroes have been upgraded. Wind Ranger was absolute last pick, and Bloodseeker was 4th pick.
Yeah, another key thing before we mention the Bloodseeker, Secret were first pick, and they banned out the IO themselves. So clearly they respect OG so much with this hero that they won't even try and execute it themselves. They're going to go, this is your hero, so we're just going to get rid of it from the series. And then sure, it opens up for them to pick up these quirky heroes because they're not locking themselves into having to pick up just a block pick. But Bloodseeker, here we go. Offlane again, we expect, lads? What we saying?
Sure, but the Fluff panel did mention that was the Tiny instrumental in making that Bloodseeker seem as good as it was, because OG banned it out first phase. They were proposing other 4 positions that they may be able to combo with the Bloodseeker that might net them the same kind of pace that they were hoping to set. Clockwork was one of them, as OG pick up the Elder Titan.
Any Bloodseeker pudges in the room?
Whoa. Let's slow down, okay? I know this is secret. But come on, one step at a time.
I mean, Bloodseeker, Rupture, hook the guy. He can't move. Like
You said that you would come over to the school of thought that it wasn't necessarily the Rupture that was making the Bloodseeker.
I mean, I think the tiny idea, now that I saw it even once and then we theory
With the spell amp.
I'm like, Toss Rupture's always been insane, but with the spell amp too, I was like, okay, that's pretty nutty. But hear me out, Pudge.
I'm done hearing. Tigo, tell me something better. Elder Sign
Big
shows
Pudge.
up.
We'll see who's laughing.
What am I listening to, lads?
Jesus, that Hearthstone game
It does.
addled your brain.
But I think before we can't get carried away based off one game and say, oh, Bloodseeker's back, guys, and all that stuff. So I think realistically, it is a hero that if played in that offlane role, it has that pure damage in the Blood Right. It can be enabled by pretty much any melee position 4. But scratch that. Anyone who has a stun to allow for the Blood Right to connect. And then his itemization is what made it work. The Veil, the Spell Amp, obviously pair it with his own Spell Amp, into Yules, into Greaves. He is basically being a utility offlaner that can just be super mobile and be obnoxious, again, mainly in laning phase, but due to items, it allows him to pivot into the mid game. Will he fall off like a truck going into 30 minutes? Of course he will. But the way that Secret played that game allowed it to always have pressure. So right now going into this game, we see Oracle, we see ETT. These are two very defensive heroes that if they get to that mid game, they can prevent the Bloodseeker from truly popping off because you have the save, the sleep, the reset, and you're able to enable like the more farming cores because Bloodseeker doesn't always feel like he's getting his damage out due to the defensive nature OG has now. The slight adjustment from that first game.
My issue with Bloodseeker at all stages of his iterations, for the last 5 years is that the hero has no survivability. His only survivability is that he's freaking zip-zap zooping at 800 move speed after the fight breaks out for 5 to 10 seconds. Last game, OG had Spearbreaker, I think, was their only stun on their entire team. And this game, I'm curious if Bloodseeker looks less powerful and overwhelming at the early stages of the game if OG were to get one stun and one hero that does a lot of damage during that stun, because that's what Bloodseeker's always suffered against. And as an offlaner, I think he could be lackluster if that's the case. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
But this is still pretty scary. Like, imagine this is your 3-4 right now, winning on being support. You get your like an early point in your shackle. Like it's just again, it's that setup needed to always punish any non-BKB carrying, like not carrying, but innately core. Lifestealer, Juggernaut.
None of those heroes feel good if it's Wind Ranger and lane either.
No, exactly, yeah.
Because all of them are like pure right clickers and Wind Ranger. You have to have a hero that threatens the Wind Ranger when she wind runs, or like doesn't have to commit onto her so that she will wind run. You can just hit her from a distance or throw a spell at her or something. But any hero like Jug or Lifestealer where you have to literally run at her to do any damage, by the time you've gotten to her, she's like right-clicked you 2 or 3 times, then you try to hit her and she wind runs away. So they do ban out Void as well as Sven as their safe laners that they fear. Ember potentially could be played safe lane. All 3 of those heroes have a way out of Rupture. Faces Void, Time Walk, you're invulnerable, Remnants, and Ag Sven. All 3 of those you are not going to take damage when moving. Maybe that's the idea behind those bans.
Does that telegraph anything that this is likely to be a Zai Bloodseeker again? Because you're proposing that there is some flex potential, even though it's a Wind Ranger and Bloodseeker, same heroes we saw last game. Oh boy.
Okay.
Against the Wind Ranger that was countering it last game.
All right.
Who is more stubborn, Puppy or Seb?
I think OG are clearly trying to prove something and clearly trying to at least, tell everyone at home that we're not going to get dumpstered like we did, in game 1 we were going to bring something. But when you look at the heroes right now Secret have in laning phase, Bloodseeker counters Husker because you have that heal, you get to just exist through Burning Spears, you don't really care too much. And then when running the game, if it's a core, even if it's a port, the Absol will buy Null, will buy MKB. The pure itemization from the Windrunner counters the Husker. So I think that this Husker pick is pretty darn terrible, and I'm excited to see it be proved wrong. Like always with OG, they always seem to find a way to prove wrong. But right now, I guess the adjustment that they could make, even putting it mid, you're against the Windrunner. Oh, I'm confused.
You're flabbergasted.
I'm flabbergasted. How have those?
That's fair. How about the ET? Does that change the equation instead of a Spearbreaker? Does that somehow make this Huskar even marginally?
Okay.
No, he doesn't change anything. It's the offlaner that's gonna, because like, Spearbreaker at least has some catch.
Like the reason for the ET, I was thinking more for like the more stable. You've got an active mid laner. You're true carry, you're trying to find farm on, you can be patient, wait for some timing, let Secret overextend, and then you punish. But with the Huskar pick, with the ET, you're forcing the aggression. And what does ET do against a Chen, for example? What does the ET do against Winner and a Bloodseeker? It's more about, if you're defensive, ET is strong. But if you're forced into aggression, again, it's not so much. They got the Invoker now. A much more different hero like Drow. Last game didn't really do much. It just kind of existed. But Invoker, at least he can set some tempo and be a bit of an aggressor. But I'm just super scared about this.
But they're already revealing it being a carry again. Like they're not even giving it the flex of being potentially.
I don't think like, realistically there is no flex there, right? Like there isn't a
Huskar, you mean?
Yeah, there isn't a Tops and Huskar scenario. So it is already shown as the carry.
Is there a Seb Huskar scenario? Or probably not.
Do they want to lose quicker? They are technically already qualified, but let's not even go down that line.
Previous panel had said that Matumbo Man could be playing literally any hero. He had the anti-mage in game 1. This time he will be having the Life Stealer. Still don't know who the OG offlaner is going to be, but Life Stealer, you had mentioned spell immunity as being something relevant. I think that was more for OG though.
It was, yeah.
Secret will be.
It's still very good here. I mean, like Oracle ET do absolutely nothing to rage. Huskar, unless he's already put the burning spears on you, does nothing to rage.
It's about the game plan though. Secret are presenting. It's the fact that they can like Chen can enable the Lifestealer lane, and then he can pivot into the Bloodseeker when he has that like 8-minute veil. You're gonna have a Chen army plus Bloodseeker veil pressuring that tier 1 tower into that Huskar. Whilst Lifestealer as a carry naturally with levels, he cares about pretty much no rotation. He does not feel any pressure.
Completely
in the game.
Independent.
Exactly. So he can now just park himself in front of that tower and just you can play the entire map. And then Matu, when he has his items, he can then join the fight when needed. So it's very much for OG. This Invoker as well. How do you ever move to this safe lane and go, I'm killing Lifestealer? You don't, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
that's
impossible.
what Lifestealer excels at as a carry. A lot of people are like, man, this hero doesn't feel like it does enough damage. Like it's supposed to be a quote unquote carry. What Lifestealer as a carry does is his damage output's going to be pretty decent once it gets 1 or 2 items, but mainly in the first 15 minutes, give him a decent start, and you can just act like for the sake of his own team's movements and play, they don't have to consider him at all. They can he'll just go wherever the hell he wants, and they don't have to protect him. No counter ganking necessary. And so when you have a hero like Bloodseeker, he doesn't want to TP respond to ganks. He just wants to play his lane and rupture people.
Seb has played ET offlane though.
I was going to say I've seen that.
Yeah, I have seen it.
4.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, why not? You know, if it's like they're currently banning out push with the Furin, right? They could potentially just go for like a Shaman-esque 4, get a bit of push potential, put the ET3, and then at least then you have something to play around, right? You get to a tower, you put down the Serpent Wards, and you're fighting. Again, it doesn't feel nice to say, but I think putting that ET into 3 might at least open up the game for a healthier game, because you're going to have maybe a activated 4. Because right now, what Seb heroes are you think? Enigma, pretty darn good. What Seb heroes are you thinking right now that could actually
I like
change this
Slardar
game?
a lot.
True, yes, Slardar as well is pretty darn good.
They need a stun, and they need I think the stun plus giving some extra damage to their lineup is really important right now. That's why.
Is he not too slow though? Because we just saw how Secret played this Bloodseeker. Minute 8, minute 13, in your face. Slardar does not like playing.
Well, he's favored in the matchup against Lifestealer.
Sure.
So the idea is last game they had Anti-Mage versus Darkseer, so the lane's like, not only do you have the Bloodseeker kind of winning top or doing okay, but the bottom lanes was a shit show where the Darkseer is low all the time, and so Bloodseekers are moving at 700 move speed at 5 minutes into the game. I think Slardar is a hero that not only is good against Lifestealer in lane, but it also counters the Bloodseeker in the sense that you get stunned and die within 1 or 2 seconds. The Chen is a bit scary to me whenever I have very little D-push. The Invoker represents like D-push in the sense of fighting you. They can engage on top of you with the Tornado into Stomp. But
is it pretty much guaranteed to be a Quaswex Invoker?
I think so. I don't know if I've ever seen Topson play Exort. Like he always plays Quaswex.
He dabbles in the odds.
Yeah, of course, if you're an Invoker player, you're going to play somewhere. But I just feel like he plays 80 to 90%.
Okay, so now pretty much
Quaswex.
You put the winner on the mid, Bloodseeker's your
why
lane.
not,
You've
right?
got obviously the Yapsor Rubik. Normally Rubik's the one that they start the draft with. Now slapping it to the end. For OG, they now have to decide how are they finding a timing and winning at least one lane. Because that first game, they didn't win any lanes. And at least this game, you'd argue the mid lane should go better with the Invoker. But what is their off-lane recipe to be able to punish a Chen Lifestealer when you already have an ET present in that lane? Is it by putting the ET core and just punching the Lifestealer to death? Maybe. Is it picking up? Okay, yeah, that is the answer.
Core ET.
There's core ET. Called it.
Yeah, I wanted Slardar just because it also beats Lifestealer in lane, but I have to assume ET beats him in lane too.
It's a lot of slapping. The Chen unit's coming as well. It's to freeze damage, but
no stuns again. It's Invoker, right?
It's
like
a lot.
Nothing
It's a high pressure situation in which if this ET doesn't have the impact that they think it will have in this lane, I think Secret will just walk with it again. But if this ET can at least apply some pressure to this side lane and then allow the Huskar lane that we know will go even and Bloodseeker favored to some degree, then I think it's going to be very scary. So a lot of pressure. This camera work should literally just be looking at the lifesteal of the ET lane. That's all I want to see. Maybe, you dip into mid, but let's not bother looking at this Huskar Bloodseeker lane.
In game one, we thought that the odds were a little bit too favorably stacked for Secret. Now, if we take away the team names and you see these two drafts after seeing how game one went, do you think this is fair? OG going back again for the Huskar?
The odds got better for OG.
Right.
Weren't they like 3.6 last
higher,
game?
yeah.
Who's betting on these games? Did
sure.
nobody see that first
Still
game?
1-3.
I didn't even get to finish my mobile game. I think the Huskar is going to struggle again, personally. But in the last game, they had the Drow Huskar against Anti-Mage. If Anti-Mage got to 3 or 4 items, I favored the Anti-Mage.
Okay.
In this game, I think I actually favor OG later on. So
because
you get the Halberd against the Wind Ranger and then Lifestealer, I think it'd be somewhat underwhelming as like a mid to late game carry if the game is even. So if they get there even, I like their odds. Last game it felt like they had to win lanes and they were unfavored in lanes. So I like their chances better here, but I'm not too optimistic.
Give me a team, T-Gov.
I like the adjustments OG made, but I still think Secret fundamentally have the answers to what OG do.
Perfect. Will we get a 3-game series? Which Twitter account will be more smug? Will Sir Ashton Slacks keep casting? Find out now for game number 2.
Prepare for battle.
Holy moly! I will, but I'm still maintaining the appearance of OD Pixels, so I'll stick like that for the rest of the series. Here we go. It's game 2, ladies and gentlemen, of OG versus Secret. We are getting some stubbornness in the openings of the drafts. We're getting Huskar again. I mean, what do you reckon, Fogged? Is this a better shot here from OG with their lineup this time around?
I do think it's a better shot. I think they actually have top 10 on an active hero. That was probably my biggest gripe with the last game. He's playing Drow. Sure, I've seen him play these type of heroes like his Vengeance and Drow, but he gets involved. I feel like Drow is a really hard one, especially if you die once or twice. You're playing versus a tough lineup. You're not very mobile. This one, it's his specialty. He can definitely make moves around. He can actually counter aggression too. Tornado to dispel Wind Run, to stop the speedy Bloodseeker, these kind of things. So I definitely do think it's a little bit better, but there's some untapped potential still. I think this Bloodseeker is still starting to be discovered. People are now looking at this off-lane Bloodseeker. I actually was hearing a little bit about it too, just talking to some people as well, and just hearing about the sustain, that you can just stand versus a lot of heroes now because of this off-lane, because the way that Thirst works. So that should be cool to see, and he's paired up with a classic. It's a Yapsor Rubik, his best hero. So we'll see what they can make of this as the battle commences.
Yeah, we'll see everyone able to push Zai up to the high ground. Make sure that he doesn't continue to trade pretty successfully as well. That you saw there, punching into the Huskar, how much damage this Bloodseeker can just do with the right click straight up early on.
Looks like it's going to be three runes for OG. And it is going to be that, my favorite hero, of course, that core ET this time versus the Lifestealer. Of course, shout out to our observer there.
Be sure to go check him out on Twitter, give him a follow, and send him your T-Tours.
For sure. But yeah,
shout out to him. He's doing an excellent job here at the Omega League. So.
This is cool the way that they're laning. They're actually setting up an aggro tri-lane with the Chen, it looks like here, and they're putting the Lifestealer lone bottom. Okay. So I think this is they can move the lanes around a lot. Puppey can also move people, of course, with the way Divine Favor works. You can actually just drag a hero if he doesn't want to actually lane in that spot, if it ends up being a tough one for the Lifestealer down bottom. But he should be able to get some decent sustain for the moment until that TP does come out. We'll see if they can actually apply pressure. I think they'll be able to apply more pressure than in the last game with an AM versus Darkseer and Spirit Breaker. But Lifestealer is pretty good versus Elder Titan too. As long as the ET does not get creeps in order to actually amp up his aura, Lifestealer can just turn and hit him.
This top lane. I mean, as we saw, from the draft, getting this Huskar early again, OG seemed very set on playing it from that one. I mean, what do you think the reason is from OG why they're they really want to make this hero work? Like, what do you think they see in this hero right now?
I think it's just because they have the Oracle. I think it's just they're thinking that it can work combo, because of it, and maybe they're just trying to make it work and maybe forcing it a bit too hard, but I'm not too sure. I've seen this hero have mixed results, mostly failures, at least from this league so far, but gotta learn somehow, right? So definitely trying to experiment. Seeing this mid matchup, this is one thing where, you know, it is a top-scene hero. However, this matchup is worse, actually, than the Drow Ranger versus Wind Ranger. This is a tough one for the Invoker early on. He's got to start building up his damage, though. He's going to be able to sustain because of the 2 points in Quas. So he'll recover as the lane progresses. But the first few levels are a bit tough.
Yeah, very hard to get the CS against this Wind Ranger.
Yeah. The Wind Run gets popped. Tornado dispel it very quickly so he can get some trades. And we're seeing bottom, they did sentry ward the small camp to ensure that Puppey can't abuse that one with his creeps. And they did actually allow the big camp spawn this time. They blocked it the first initial. But as an ET, you know, you really want to have this side camp open. There. You want them to be able to get stacked up so that you can apply the pressure onto a hero like Lifestealer. Zai. Let's get the clip on the Blood Right onto mid one there.
Yeah, has to be a little careful. A few of the spears stacking up on him. Toss mid one to the side. Bottom lane, Puppey getting going on. He's gonna go for the TPI. He's not gonna make it away though. Seb will take first blood.
He's got the damage.
There we go. Punching Puppey down. This is you can imagine the sort of first blood that will, you know, give Seb the momentum, the ego boost there. He's got first blood. He's ready to sort of show Secret how it's done this game.
I think that's a lane where you can't play for the last hits. You're an Elder Titan Grimstroke versus this Lifestealer. I think you just have to play for these crazy type of kills and moves.
Top mid one. And one's able to push him back with the disarm, but they chase him down, and now they turn over towards No-Tail. Blood rights out. No-Tail, he's
going down.
He's caught by it. They'll dive in, and Secret will claim both of their lives.
Instant salve by Yapsor onto Zai as well, and then tanks the tower. That top lane is not looking so good. Bloodseeker able to sustain, and that pure damage, it's nothing to joke about. Like, the thing is, like, what does Oracle really do? You can't even do anything about the damage because your W doesn't do anything versus pure if he did even go for a skill point early on. Lots of damage between these two. And he's gonna be, looks like probably the same build, right?
I think the
Veil worked really well last time. It's not like he has as great of a like team
there's no
lineup with it, but Rubik's good. Even Rubik's gonna be able to get some Grimstroke spells eventually. See 4-minute rune, rotations coming up. Both supports from Secret emphasizing this one. They really want to fill up Nisha's bottle.
Yeah, they're going to be able to do so. DD rune as well. Spawns on the bottom for Nisha.
And they can do these rotations a little bit easier because they have these strong side laners. This Rage built-in Lifestealer, this Thirst speedy Bloodseeker who's had a good start. They can move for those runes early on and not jeopardize their side lanes too hard.
Sure, like Matu's going to get pushed away from the wave, but he's not going to die down here.
No. And then he misplays like completely, or they get an early point of silence. But now Saksa, he steps up far.
Matu.
Whoa, the damage.
Gotta be a little careful of those punches from Seb.
The dispels. That creep, they have to kill it. You have to get rid of that one there. It can dispel both the Inkswell and it can also dispel the Astral buff onto the ET. So yeah, they have to make sure that they get rid of that one there. And they will. Mid one.
They're gonna start
is building
in onto him. Nearly gets locked into it. The silence, of course, does still catch onto No-Tail. No-Tail will get the kill in return, but he may die as well for this as Yapsor's hunting. Can he find the final right click? No-Tail juking it down in the trees, getting the Purifying Flame heal stacked up. He'll be able to survive that as he hides himself in the trees.
Looks like the pushback actually got Yapsor out of range to be able to lift and throw the Huskar into the Blood Right for a second there. Ends up actually getting them a kill. And now bottom. I mean, Seb has actually forced out the Lifestealer.
Yeah, so all in all, though, 5 minutes in, definitely improvement from what we saw in game one from OG this time round, coming out solidly even across the lanes.
Yep, and we see, I think Yapsor maybe just snagged that from Nisha a little bit there. Nisha was pinging it, but either way, they got those bounty runes top. And we see Matu, he can safely TP back to base because he can just get raptured all the way back with the Divine Favor from Puppey. So keeps himself there. Shackle on the side.
Well, he's going to be able to find No-Tail. No-Tail turns with the disarm, but the two of them will be able to play around with him and kill him off. The kill for Nisha.
Yapsor didn't take the kill with Fateball. What the hell?
Yeah, that's when you know the Secret are trying their hardest.
Yeah, seriously. What
no kill stealing today from Yapsor.
Instantly ruined. Nisha does not get lucky guessing bottom. Topson will be able to deny out the invis. Doesn't care about it. Already Urn finished up for Topson, and like we said, this game, Topson on an Invoker, he can deter a lot of the aggression. Especially versus a hero like Wind Ranger, that you can dispel that Wind Run. So he can easily show up and counter gank, or even set up ganks, because they also do have the ET with the Invoker. So we've seen that one earlier in this tournament in particular. Tornado plus Stomp, easily to land and set up those EMPs.
Fortified their structures against
using the fort here to deny those extra creeps away from Nisha. Keep that pressure in onto him, onto the tower.
There's that little purge creep again. They have to, I mean, this little purge creep will make their bottom lane not be able to be aggressive at all.
Top Zai.
Top.
It's going to start playing aggressive as he hits 6. Drops the blood right down. Not quite in a position to kill off Notal, but the Fade Bolt is destroying mid one there. They take him out again. Bottom lane, Seb trying to go in onto Matu. Puppey and Matu trading back though onto him.
This dispel, I mean this creep, like he had a ton of astral stacks there from the creeps on the side, but it just gets dispelled off all that damage that he builds up. Matu's getting low again here. Here comes the creep to purge it off, but it might be late.
They're chasing in. Seb, he's diving for this one. Yapso able to TP in reaction, and Seb, he gets a little too aggressive there. Not expecting Yapso
purge creep
to be able to TP across. And as you say, Puppey with that micro setting up the secret to find both of them down there.
Yapso 6, it's 7 minutes in. Wait, what the hell? That kill top really surged him forward there, but I mean, that's all right. Level 6 with Arcane Boots pretty much done. Typical Yapsor, even though he didn't secure the kill with Fade Bolt earlier.
And that was very ambitious there from Seb, that dive. He went in, and I don't think there's many scenarios where he gets out of doing that. I'm sure maybe he could have got Matu, like there was that chance, but didn't play out.
They tried for the cheeky play with that like silence coming with the Phantom, but wasn't able to get it. Nisha though, rotation from Saksa.
The silence, but Yapso's going to be able to break the combo initially. Topson still has the Inkswell on him. They've got the nukes on to Nisha. Back up from Zai coming in from the top lane. Straight away they pop the Invoker. They will lose the Wind Ranger. Zai's going to try and chase down Saksa and Notel. See how much more they can go for. There we have Zai leading in. Stun connects in onto Notel. Blood Bright's down. Notel will get hit by it, but the backup's here from Seb. Seb will start to push the two of them away. Yapso's able to grab the bounty rune that have been left there for the last 3 minutes on the way out.
Gets his Arcane Boots completed because of that too, and he's being able to give Zai mana, so Zai in fighting form again. My god, the blood rate damage. That early on when he's already level 7, so it's 300 pure damage. It's the highest effective nuke in the game. Look at Soxy, he has to dance around here to try to dodge it. Won't be able to.
Maybe having a shot at killing off Zai here. They get the cold snap of the EMP. Zai needs help. It's coming in. Puppey with the TP. Zai is into the trees and he's away.
And he's speedy now.
Couldn't quite kill him there, the 3 of them.
Tons of moves coming out from OG to try to respond to Secret's advantageous start again.
Yeah,
into 3. And look at this, like Matu now is able to get so much space out of bottom when it was looking like he was going to suffer maybe a tiny little bit, but now he's pretty much got the armlet done. And something that Elder Titan does not like playing versus is any of that plus armor as your aura. Sure, your astral works, but your actual natural aura gets countered as mid one.
Nisha's trying to catch on to mid one.
It's a freebie.
This is going to continue to just enlarging the difference between mid one and Matuma Man's game. Like we're seeing the timing, as you say, on Matu's armor in comparison. He's going to be able to do so much more at the point where mid one's not going to be quite ready to turn up to these fights.
Yep. The only way that they can get those type of kills there is if Saksa actually gets the Phantom from the tree line. If he does it out of like in fog and he gets the silence off initially, then maybe they can go for those connects, but not able to do so the last few times. Matu will outclick him for the rune here. Might try again here. He has the rage.
Yeah, it's not a. You're never catching up to this lifestealer now with the phase boots, the rage.
And now now he has the armor done pretty much. So that much stronger. He needs just a couple more last hits and he will have it. Top forcing reactions, going for a dive here with the Fade Bolt, with the Blood Red as well. So much burst damage with this early Veil too.
And again, this early lead, I mean 10 minutes in, but it's a 4K lead.
Yeah, and Thompson, like that one death actually costs him so much. Like he's down with the supports, with the Rubik, with the Bloodseeker, the offlane. His net worth is crippled a bit here. Keeping themselves top, keep applying the pressure. Mid one has to be so careful. If he's at like half HP or 3/4 HP as a Huskar, Blood Right, pure damage, a Fade Bolt, and a stolen spell, he's just dead. He actually has to move out of the lane and go farm some jungle now because of that.
I mean, and where is the power from OG in this game? In the first game, we were always looking towards when they'll be able to group up as 5, and considering that could have had potential, obviously. They got too far behind early on.
They wanted to try the tree line. It gets dispelled instantly, though. The Inkswell, the perch creep again. Puppey always having the right one.
Yeah, the Alpha Wolf as well, giving that extra bit of punch to Matsu.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is really whenever Thompson wants to start moving with the ET, I think they have to set up some Stomp, Tornado, EMPs as Thompson. He's ghost walking, but he's being seen. The Thirst.
Ooh, he's gonna live.
10 HP.
And they'll be able to punish Nisha for that. TP's come in.
All right.
Keep Thompson alive.
Oh my god, he almost died because of the vision from the Bloodseeker. Ends up surviving, but they do lose a very early tier 1 bottom.
And the top lane.
Top 2 Zai.
I mean, he's got 1,300 gold on top of the Veil. This is a fair bit of money on this. Soulflame Bloodseeker yet again, mid lane. Matsu's going to come in. Tried to set up onto mid one. Doesn't want to run back in, though. There's 4 heroes here on OG.
That is a scary steal. It is a level 4 Inkswell on a hero that has Rage built in. So Tornado, sure, amazing to counteract that Inkswell, but if he's raged, he can just beeline right through. Exactly. So I do think Secret's probably going to look to just fight whenever a fight does come to them, but this time, Zai might get caught out pretty far forward.
No, just no messing around for the
silence.
There is little hope.
There's no cold snap because of the silence. He lives.
And they're pressuring the mid-tier 1 tower. Secret just finding any opportunity to take away these very early towers here from OG. No defense in the mid lane as that tower will fall as well. 12 minutes in.
And look at this now.
Lead, it's only going up again.
Yep, and they're looking for action. Stolen Inkswell, they're very ready to look for these fights. They have so much damage in their draft now because of this early lead. Anyone they find will easily get brought down. All of OG, though, kind of responding here. Thompson is top.
There we go. The catch is in. They've got the shackle shot. Mid-1 needs to save straight away. False Promise comes out from no town. Mid-1 jumps immediately over onto Nisha. They have the Inkswell stun as well. Nisha falling low. They'll go down. They'll get the Wind Ranger. As Matsu dives in over towards Saxon. Now turning over back towards Mid-1. The stolen Purifying Flames there from Yapsor. Nuking Mid-1 out of the game.
My god.
They may have gone Nisha, but they lose 3 heroes for it. Matsu survives. His farm starting to get quite a bit ahead of anyone else in the game. This armlet into Deso is going to come out at a very good timing for the Lifestealer.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm seeing OG. They've queued up a Midas on Invoker. I believe I saw Midas queued up on Elder Titan too. It looks like they're going to take it, try to take it to the late game because of how this early game has gone. I mean, they're going to try to go for some farm build.
Do they have the heroes to do that? Who's the late game hero now?
First 5 seconds.
Having a shot at killing offside here. They get the cold snap and the EMP. Zai needs help. It's coming in. Happy with the TP. Zai is into the survives. His farm starting to get quite a bit ahead of anyone else in the game. This armlet into Deso is going to come out at a very good timing for the Lifestealer.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm seeing OG. They've queued up a Midas on Invoker. I believe I saw Midas queued up on Elder Titan too. It looks like they're going to take it try to take it to the late game because of how this early game has gone. I mean, they're going to try to go for some farm build.
Do they have the heroes to do that? Who's the late game hero on OG? What's the potential in that sense?
I mean, it's the Invoker and the ET for the most part, but I mean, this Lifestealer has built-in rage. He's excellent versus these heroes as game progresses no matter what. Nisha does get a bit does start to fall off a little bit versus them, but Lifestealer is definitely the one who reigns supreme for the majority of this game, if not all of it. Especially with this type of lead. And he's always going to get amped up, right? He's always going to have this Chen behind him to buff him up, and then Rubik stealing Grimstroke and Oracle spells. So I do feel like this Lifestealer still does reign supreme, even if it does go to later, but OG, they might have a different idea of it.
Smoke, yeah, from OG. And Secret are in OG's jungle right now. Scan comes out, so OG know the whereabouts. The Secret are positioned to fight.
Zai very fast.
I mean, Seb's going to get ruptured straight up, so he's going to be held out to the side of the fight.
Okay. If Saksa doesn't die here, this could be okay with disengage of GFP,
on top of him.
dead.
Shackle set up. That's one down, and now it becomes a 4v5, and a 4v5 that I don't think OG's going to want to still try and force.
No. Look at Matu. It's the way he's playing. There's no risk because he's just so good versus every single one of the heroes on the side of OG this raid.
It's going before Hammer, I believe.
Okay.
It's got the one up.
Nice little snipe there by Thompson as he's making his way to Midas a creep. Or maybe the Midases are also for the Chen creeps, right? Maybe that's why they also.
Okay, that's true. It is the Chen counter.
Yeah, I was trying to think of another
expensive
reason.
one.
Very expensive indeed. But look at Poppy. He's always having the purge creep. It's so important when you have these type of dispels.
Oh, now he's got two.
Versus Elder Titan. Even Oracle, too, it can be very good versus Grimstroke. Nisha.
There's a setup into the Blood Bride. Matu, he's straight on top of Thompson. Thompson just gets destroyed. No-Tail doesn't even get a chance to use the false promise on him. As Thompson goes down, Matu trying to run over the high ground. Saxa there with a counterplay if they lead forward. Oh, he gets away. He's into Nisha. He's straight back out and he's ready to fight on. The false promise will get used onto Mid-One.
But they're outnumbered.
They're down to. Mid-One's going to take so much damage through this false promise that he's going to pop as it comes to an end. Oh,
this is insane.
Oh, it's starting to look like a bit of a replay of game one. 8K lead, 16 minutes in, 18-5.
They're just so good at looking for the right fights, and they've got a mech to counteract everything there already. OG, they're nowhere near that type of mech. They have the one save, they have the one false promise, but look at the way that Matu's playing. We're saying he's playing with no risk, no care. He's just running through heroes, targeting exactly whoever he wants, and they lose Thompson at the start of it, so it was a fight that was near impossible anyway.
I
mean, Secret's just out of control.
Secret indeed.
8-0 and 8 on YapzOr as well, by the way, on his signature Rubik. 16 of the 18 kills. He's having an impeccable performance.
Just look at the damage split between the four of Secret. They're just in tune. Everybody's making plays on Secret. Everyone's getting equally involved. Like they're just all on the same wavelength, Secret, and it shows it.
Yeah.
OG trying to get something together against this lineup, and for the second time in this series, it's just not falling into place at all from OG. It's falling all over the place.
No, it's the way that they're making all their heroes work together is why you see those damage numbers. Like the reason YapzOr's damage is so high is not only because he's YapzOr, but because he's got the Veil backup from his teammate, from that Bloodseeker, and he got given level 6 at 7 minutes. And he got
just look at it, level 12, and he's got his Blink Dagger on top of the Ether Lens at 17 minutes. He's nearly about to overtake the farm. Mid-One and Thompson.
Yeah. He's higher level than Thompson. They're now getting some time to at least hit a tower here. Finally here on the side of OG.
Tower that they've been able to punch really in this game, OG.
Sai quickly starts to deter that. Has a Yule's already finished up, and he's actually getting it raptured out, but he will actually. He'll use himself to make sure he doesn't get hit, so that he can get pulled away and ensure that he survives as well.
I mean, they get a tier 1, but they're losing a tier 2, and of course the all-important pre-20-minute tier 2. So now Secret, if they can finish this with the availability of denying any of that 20-minute outpost XP from OG.
And there's already an MKB now on Nisha. So that Huskar, who ideally you want to be able to get a halberd at some type of time, evasion's already going to get countered heavily. And the damage, like we said, the Veil, plus the Blood Rage, plus that Focus Fire with an MKB is going to be crazy.
See Matu, he gets with the Rage, and even starts to turn towards them there. Does realize that OG's got the full squad around, and Matu didn't quite have the backup in the neighborhood, so he's out to the side, continuing to go for this aggressive build. Armlet, Deso into the Basher.
Smoke by Secret. I think they're maybe going to try pressuring the base here. They're very strong right now, and they have Aegis, they have Deso, Armlet. They can catch people on the rotation. Matu holds his ground, walks to his teammates, does get caught by the stomp though.
He gets his Armlet back off though. And Tanisha, he's saved. And again, just Zai just putting down these blood brights, forcing this whole area where OG struggle to fight into.
So there's a smoke to put a base ward so they can see inside, and they're just actually going to look to sandwich them.
They're just wrapping him around. Midone, he's going to start to step towards them, but then just jump out, and immediately it has to be false promise. The shackle doesn't latch. Midone's going to jump in aggressively, but he's being ruptured. He's going to take so much damage. Matsu, let's get to the backlines. The lift up there onto the Invoker, 3 dead. It's starting to look just as bad as game 1, folks. It really is.
Look at that. They even still had Hand of God. They did use the mech, but OG, they don't have anything to match this at all right now. Secret just... I mean, it's flawless play here. The way that they smoke and wrap around, they set up the ward too. This is just no mercy. And Matu with this just such a favorable hero matchup versus what he's against. He's, like I said, he just has no fear. He can just run into anything he wants.
My goodness, 21-5. I can't remember what the score got to in the last game, but I think it
was 30-something to 4.
I think it was
5,
5.
Yeah.
It's heading that same way yet again. I mean, some of these KDAs, as you're pointing out earlier, the abs are 8-0-9. Insane stuff here from Secret, and we'll see what the comeback plan is going to be from OG. She said there are Midases online.
But they can't, like, their lanes are all going to be pushing into their side. And they have a base ward that's watching their movements that they do not know about at all. There's no way they'll ever find that base ward either. So they just saw them all walking out of the base, walking into their jungle. They know exactly. Look at Matu. He knows exactly where they are. He's taunting them.
Matu doesn't care. He's just going to start going in onto Midone.
Oh, Stone Splitter.
He's just gone. There's not even a chance to save Midone.
Seb also.
They're just getting destroyed.
Matu wants him.
Is he going to keep going? He's going to keep going. Matu's in the base. He's in the base. He's actually going outside of it. Yeah, Matu will finally give up on the chase. Doesn't quite have the movement speed to continue to get him. Mid lane Thompson's out alone.
Oh, I mean, goodbye, Thompson.
All right. 24-5, 15K lead. We're really going to get 2 back-to-back games of this. This is just Secret, just destroying OG on an outrageous level. There's nothing close about these games.
Look at this Lifestealer. He's Alacritied with Blood Rage. Look at all these buffs he has on him, and he even gets to survive, jumping away here.
Protecting that Aegis. And Zai, he's feeling it. Dagon's out. That's how you do as the Bloodseeker.
Sure.
Get out your Dagons.
You've got your max Blood Rage already, 30% spell amp. They got the grab.
One again, getting caught out. Matu's in it, he's dead again. Nothing can be done to save him.
They gotta be calling this.
They gotta be. They really have to. A Secret.
Holy shit. It's really no mercy. Okay, Inkswell onto 2, but he's so tanky already.
It's not gonna do anything. It's not doing anything at all.
No, it is not. And even the power shot through with the amp up. Are they gonna get this ET as well, Seb? He's trying to get away. He will be able to get away. I mean, maybe not. He'll be able to get away. But he's forced back to the base. Secret, 22,000 gold lead. They're toying with their food now.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, are we sure Secret are playing on their main accounts? I mean, what's happening?
Oh, this is just. I mean, it's impeccable performance across the board.
Yes,
they just don't make. They're not making any mistakes. And OG,
at this rate,
they're falling into the traps.
The Smurf detection's going to kick in, and Secret's going to jump straight to the grand finals. Holy moly! This is
chilling around the Ancients. He's going to open wounds for healing. Heal back up to full. Keep their pressure on the map. OG, they're trying to find some type of room, some breathing. Seb, desperate to find some farm, but now he might be paying with his life. As they had a boot to travel on the Rubik.
Yes, it is.
Okay, puts him with the stomp, but he will. Don't think will find Nisha. All right.
Monster kill.
They got Nisha. They got something. They got something there, OG.
And they instant smoked, looking for something else. Poppy knows, though. His creeps scouted it out. He's pinging exactly where they were. They did at least get a kill here to punch back, but...
They're going to need quite a few more of those. Down 21K here at 23 minutes.
Matu is such a... Matu can just run at them. Look,
he's just taunting
He has 35 armor. Like, what do? You know?
Oh, look at that damage!
touch him. He can kill the 3 of them probably.
Just run.
They have to reset and run away.
Oh, another kill.
Oh, they find that's a lot of gold.
There's a rupture onto Thompson. They found 2. Thompson's going to go for the TP out.
Oh, No Tail gets left.
Oh, but he's out with the TP, and there's nothing to cancel it.
He'll survive.
Okay. A bit of a punch back here from OG. I don't know if we...
Oh, he does not survive.
No.
Did he stick? He had 19 stick charge. Oh, he didn't pop the stick.
Oh,
I think if he popped those...
That may have saved him.
I mean, they did so much damage to him with the hits, with the Deso.
True, that may have not saved
AC.
him.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
I thought the Fountain Region might be enough to actually heal him up, but oh my god.
I guess Matu just hits that hard right now.
Yeah, they're too big. Side. They've got the detection, Thompson, the Dagon. He's dead.
He's out.
And he buys back.
He's going to buy back. And Midbon's going to try and turn. He jumps in onto Puppey.
Oh my god, Puppey's just, look at him just slowing him. Look at the Ghost Lady.
And the lift is holding him in the blood. Right, he's gone again, Midbon. He's gone again. OG just pushed back up to the bay. Whoa! Yabzor swagging in with the life break. As OG, they're just getting pushed back by the blood right. Shackle won't latch it. Secret playing around into the siege creep. Matu goes.
Another rupture.
Ready for some Carty action.
Oh, Saksa, he's been spouted. He's been found. Stuns the Carty. But pays with his life.
I mean, they're getting Dagon now. That's when it's rough. When you're getting Dagoned.
Just look at this. The blood rights to zone them away from going back to their fountain.
Zion punching. They will turn.
The damage. ET.
Oh, Zion on the run.
Oh, he's got Essence Ring.
And he's away. There's another stomp.
They get the stomp.
Okay, and the setup there as well. Onto Yabzor, mid-one. He's going to look for the kill. Matu goes in with the range onto mid-one. Mid-one is gone. No save available for No Tail. The false punch is still on cooldown. No Tail goes for the disarm and the TP out back to base. Will make it away. Nisha able to finish them off with the power shot. As Thompson goes down, the bottom racks are claimed. 38-9. Over 1k a minute lead here. Yet again for Secret. 29k advantage.
Nisha was trying to run away and Matu's like, no, we're going in.
I mean, they certainly are. No Tail's out. Right up to the fountain. Nisha dives in. It's a team wipe. GG is called.
Is under attack.
And not the once, but the twice. Secret. They just decimate them. It's not even close. It's not even close. I saw people say, you've got to come up for a new word. This is more than a stomp. Between Secret and OG, this is...
It's 26 minutes, and look, it's a 30,000 gold lead, 41 kills, 9 OG. It didn't look like they had any chance in this game. Like, the first 6 minutes, we're like, oh, looking a little bit better. Hits the 12-minute mark.